Hello everyone, this is Taylor. This is the third installment of a series on the unofficial KPA FX editor made by Damian Greda from Poland. It's evolving quite nicely. Every time Damian is adding new features. So I would like to talk to you about those new features today. If you haven't seen the other videos or you have any questions, please, I would like to invite you to take a look at my previous videos, part 1 and part 2. I'm sure they will answer a lot of questions you may have, but if you have any questions, please ask them in the comments below, and I will pass them on to Damian, or I will try to answer them myself. And the latest version is 1.20, as you can see here, KPA FX Editor 1.20 in the top left here. There's a new version on the horizon as well, which will add some more features. Damian has to do this all by himself in his spare time, so it's been amazing what he achieved so far. Now let's get to it. The new features are some bug fixes, so thank you, Damian. There were some odd things going on, those have been cleared. And he also added some soft slot buttons here. So now you can see which slots are active or not. So if I press the connect button and I go to my one of my patches here, my rigs here, you will see that I get a nice overview which things are used. For example, in the A slot, I know in this patch I have a wah, so if I go to A, there should be a wah. Nope, they're not. Let's get to that. With the editor, it's nice, and let's engage it. You will see that he will automatically engage that button as well. So what is it? It buys by that hue because I have that mission expression pedal with a spring loaded. So the wah is bypassed by hue. So these buttons reflect the on-off states in the Kemper. So on the right hand side of your screen, you will be able to see my live view from the Kemper. So if I turn to tuner, switch to tuner, go to browser again, you get the live view of my Kemper. So if I just engage, disengage effects like this, I don't even have to touch the Kemper again to just quickly, get rid of that reverb, put some delay on, without me having to go through the effect slots here and pressing the on-off button. Be careful not to disengage the connect here. So if I go now to the delay section here, you will see it's on, because even if I'm in slot A and I want to quickly disable delay, I can just do it here and everything is off like that. Let's get the wah off like that. So very nice feature. At a glance, you can see all of your amp settings, you can see all of your stack settings, all of your cab settings, and all of your effect settings here, effect slot settings on off states. I have also seen a little preview of the next upcoming update, and these buttons will be listed here in the same order as they would in the Kemper profiler, but with color codes depending on which effect is loaded with short names, so that you can directly see which effect is loaded in which slot as well. So that will be great. Okay, now on to the rig options. As you can see, there's quite some controls added here. One of the controls added is the panorama button, the transpose button, well dialed actually, and some dials for getting the location of the volume and the pedal range, so you can take care of that here in the rig options. The tab button is the same, still allows you to tap in tempo that you like, and he has also added the parallel tab option for bass players mostly, but still, if you want to experiment with that, you can go and use the dial to define the parallel mix. Oh, one more thing, of course, when using this, you can, in the view, you can zoom in a little bit, so you have a larger view on the editor. Last but not least, I would like to talk about the lock states section that has been added by Damian. Damian, you're a genius. This is just working nicely. Let me explain. Everybody knows that you can use the lock button on the Kemper to lock certain aspects of a rig. The stomp section, the stack section, effect section, and then input, output, tempo, or the individual slots themselves, the EQ, the amp, the cap, everything can be locked. So they can be locked simultaneously. You can lock entire sections. You can lock, unlock. Well, this option here, as you can follow in the live view, here you can just deselect and select the lock states by a simple click of the mouse, and you have a nice overview that, okay, here it's slot B and X that is locked, and the stack section is locked, and all stones are locked. So make sure, if you want to lock individual items here, that the grouping locks are unlocked, else it won't work, because if you have the stomps section as a whole locked, you won't be able to change those anymore. So although you can visually, it won't have an effect. So if you want to individually lock things, you make sure that the grouping lock is not active. Okay, now there are three larger buttons here at the bottom end here. You have a clear lock, a cab lock with exclamation marks, and an amp lock with exclamation marks. Now that means clear lock, well, it's self-explanatory. It will clear all locks that you have selected by a single press of a button. Very nice indeed. Now this exclamation cab lock, that means that this is the inverse cab lock. If you click it, everything will be locked except for the cab. So clear lock, everything locked except for the cab. The amp is also here, it's an inverse amp selection. Everything is locked except for the amp, and of course the stack, else that would be possible. If you want to try out other amps or other cabs, you can use this function. Let me give you a small demonstration on how I have been using this to try out new cabs. Very nice. So first things first, let's get rid of all locks. We go to one of our patches that I like, but I want to try it with let's get some volume here, but I want to try it with a different cab. I like the sound, I like this patch a lot, and I want to experiment with different cabs. Well, I just press the inverse cab section, and now from this patch, everything is locked except for the cab, and of course the stack grouping, so that can have individual things on and off in this group. So the sound is still the same, as it should be. Okay, now with all these locks in place, all I need to do is go to a different profile stored on your computer or on your profiler or in the rig exchange. No, you can get those from everywhere. So let me just try the here the Top Jimmy ones. It's a free pack that I've downloaded, which are nice. Here you can see Top Jimmy has included some cabinets, Fender Bassman, and so on, Soldano. So let me try this Soldano one. So this is the original one, and now I can just double click here, and everything will remain the same except the cab will be this one. Totally different sound, which is, if you like it, you can just store that one by using the store button, and it will be stored. And then you have a new combination. Just make sure that you just change the name here and that you rename it as Mark V Rhythm with a Soldano SLO 100 cab or something like that. But as you can see, it's fairly simple. Every cab that you select now, it's just a cab that changes. If you go to Fender Deluxe Reverb, it's a little tiny, so you need a big 4x12. Here you go. Very nice indeed. So as you can see, this inverse cab lock just works perfectly. Now let's try that with a different rig. So first things first, you press the clear lock. Everything is deselected. You go to your Kemper or another profile, whatever you want. let me try my tri-axis patch here, which I like. This one. Nice tri-axis patch, but I would like a different cab. Well, it's simple as just pressing the inverse cab lock. Everything is locked except for the cab, and now we can go to, for instance, the Michael Brit pack. I have bought this petty pack, very nice. And here you can see all the different cabs that he has profiled. The Merlin one, if I click on the Merlin one, you will get some nice information. It's a 4x12 slant Merlin cab with Celestion V30 speakers, and the mic used is a 57 Fathead 2. A distinct difference here, but I like it nonetheless. Let's try his cranky one. Nice. So the Eddie Van Halen one. Yeah, you get the idea. Need to practice on that. So the dual rectifier one. Very nice. So as you can hear, it's so easy to try out new cabs that way. So same goes for the amp. So let me get rid of all locks. Let me go back to my profiler here. And let's try this one. It's a Fender Twin Champ. This one has delay setting, a reverb setting, and let's see, in slot C, it has a nice chorus setting. So let's try that. Nice. Okay. So, but I would like to try this patch, this rig, just everything just the same. I just want to use another amp. So, for instance, I press the inverse amp lock. Everything is locked, so all effects except for the amp and the EQ settings. Okay, so as you can see, the EQ settings are fairly. So we have some 2.4. We have some bass added, too much bass. We have some too much treble present. No, this is a fairly moderate or a fairly tweaked Fender Twin here. So I will not only use the inverse lock, I will also unlock the EQ. That way, if I go to, for instance, my tri-axis clean here, I get this patch with the tri-axis clean amp and the tri-axis clean EQ that I've dialed in. So a big difference here. If I go to, for instance, this mid-Berlin one, nice indeed, okay? But as you can see, the chorus, the delay, and the reverb settings all remain the same. So, by using the lock function here, you can just try out different kinds of amps without you needing to, you know, copy and paste and change and whatever. So these lock states give you so much more options to just quickly go through your patches, your rigs, to quickly go through your performances and so on. Because this is the nice thing about the editor, it also works in performance mode. So don't worry about that. It works like a charm as well. So very nice work, Damian. This is very nice. Now, a little trick I've set up myself is I've created in my local library a cab section. As you can see, I have 37 cabs loaded, but of course you can have lots more cabs, and I have divided them into two folders. IR ones, as you can see, some own hammer cabs I've loaded here, a Marshall one from the Heavy Hitters pack, and then some traditional 4x12 Mesa cabs, boasting different speaker selections, which I like. Big recommendation though, the California Duo pack from Own Hammer is very good indeed. And I also have some studio cabinets, meaning that those cabinets here are all from rigs in my collection. So I know what I do now is if I want to experiment with cabs, the only thing I need to do is just go to my profiler, choose my Triaxis like that. And now I go to my cab section here. I go to my IRs, and here, first what I do is lock everything except for the cab, and then I can choose one of these cabs. For instance, this one. Yep. Everything is locked except for the same goes for the studio ones. Let's go to the Marshall AHW here by Sililab. A lot more trebly. Let's go to the greenbacks here. KPM one. BP Duo. As you can see, an orange one should be nice. Yes, the Dave Mustaine. Yeah, Dave. Nice one. Very good. The original one. The Triaxis cab. If there's anything like Triaxis cab. The PV5150 or the Marshall V30s with the M201 on axis. So this way, this name doesn't matter, the amp name, because you are only using the cab, of course. So let's take a Mesa Boogie rectifier cab, the Stiletto cab, the Engel cab. Excellent stuff. So as you can see, by using this and this piece of software together, you have access to most parts of your rigs. Damian has just made things a lot easier to dial in new tones, to take control of rigs and so on, without you having to copy rigs onto your Kemper to be able to switch out cabs and so on. So a big thank you for Damian for allowing this. It was already possible just using the hardware, but this is a lot more convenient using the lock states here. If you agree on that, give me a big thumbs up, but especially if you like the software like I do, if you like to give Damian a little pat on the back, if you would like to thank him for all his efforts, well, by all means, click this giant donate button here and buy the man a beer, because it's incredible all on his own how much work he has already done on this editor. I have seen a little glimpse of the new version already. I can assure you, rest assured, this will only get better. And as long as you have a good MIDI connection with your Kemper, so using good MIDI to USB cables, Damian will provide a list listing all working ones, because you need one that can handle full sysx messages. Very important, else it will not work. Or if you use regular MIDI cables with a MIDI interface on your computer, like an external audio interface, which boasts those ports, it will just work great. Let me get clear of that. This is just amazing piece of software. So the KPA editor with the rig manager in conjunction is just very nice, because now if you have found a sound that you like, you just rename it, store it, and it's stored on your Kemper. You can drag it to any location you like in your rig manager, and this way you don't have to screw around with USB cables or USB sticks and copying patches and importing cabs and so on. No, you can just try out IR cabs as much as you like. So very nice indeed. If you like this software, please give the man a beer, pay him a beer. It's so worth it to encourage him to really get all functionality that we like into this software. But for now, thank you again, Damian. I can't thank you enough. I hope this has been useful to some, but it has helped me tremendously. So I hope to catch you guys in the next one. See you. Bye bye.